Welcome to LOLWOT TV, your daily dose of WTF. It's not exactly clear what drove these professional athletes to commit their crimes, though too much fame and fortune may have played a role in why these athletes got out of hand. Here are 10 professional athletes convicted of crimes. At number 10, Floyd Mayweather Jr. Floyd Mayweather Jr. is a heavyweight boxing champion. His former girlfriend, Josie Harris, had accused him of punching, arm twisting, and hair pulling while their children were around. In the past, Mayweather had dodged several jail terms for domestic violence cases, but the Las Vegas judge had given him 90 days after a plea deal in domestic violence. Mayweather was also asked to pay a fine of $2,500 and to undergo domestic violence counseling programs. He was released in August 2012. At number 9, Ryan Leaf. Ryan Leaf is a retired American football player. He had played for the San Diego Chargers and the Dallas Cowboys. In 2009, he was indicted for burglary and substance abuse. He was arrested by customs agents at the border while returning to the United States. In 2010, he pleaded guilty to the felony charges, and the district judge sentenced him to 10 years of probation and was asked to pay $20,000 in fines. On March 30, 2012, he was arrested for theft, burglary, and drug charges in Montana. 4 days after, he was again arrested on the case of burglary, illegal possession of drugs, and theft. On December 3, 2014, Leaf was released from prison and was placed under the supervision of a parole officer. At number 8, Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis is a former NFL player. He played with the Baltimore Ravens for 17 years. He was the NFL Defensive Player of the Year in 2003. After a Super Bowl party in Atlanta, a fight between Lewis and his companions and another group had resulted in the deaths of Richard Lawler and Jacinth Baker. Lewis, along with his companions, was questioned, and a few days later was indicted for assault and murder charges. However, Lewis had entered a plea deal that he would give testimony against his companions, but in exchange, the murder charges against him would be dropped. He was later charged with obstruction of justice and misdemeanor. Lewis had accepted the plea bargain and he was ordered to 1-year probation. The NFL did not fire him. However, he was fined $250,000, one of the biggest fines in NFL history. At number 7, Michael Vick. Michael Vick is an American football player. He had played professionally for the Philadelphia Eagles, Atlanta Falcons, and the New York Jets. In 2007, Vick and 3 men were accused of felony charges after they were found operating illegal interstate dogfighting. He was charged with financial gambling activities and participating in the execution of dogs. He and his co-defendants had agreed to plea bargains. They pleaded guilty to the state charges in order to have an early release from the federal prison. In 2008, Vick was sentenced to 3 years imprisonment and was required to pay $2,500 in fines. Vick was released from prison on July 20, 2009. At number 6, Riddick Bowe. Riddick Bowe is a former heavyweight champion. He had won WBC, WBA, and IBF titles in 1992. He kidnapped his estranged wife, Judy, and their 5 children. He forced them to ride in his vehicle and go to his Maryland home. Aside from kidnapping, he also stabbed Judy in the chest. Fortunately, she survived the incident though. Bowe was captured in Virginia and was charged with assault and kidnapping. He was sentenced to 17 months in federal prison and was released in April of 1998. At number 5, Ray Carruth. Ray Carruth is a former football player for the Carolina Panthers. On November 16, 1999, he shot Sharika Adams, the woman he was dating and who was pregnant with his child. Adams was shot 4 times in the back. She made a call to 911 and described the behavior of Carruth. In the hospital, Adams had fallen into a coma and died a month later. Her child was born in an emergency C-section, but due to premature birth, he has cerebral palsy. Carruth was captured after hiding in the trunk of a car outside the motel in Tennessee. He was charged with conspiracy to commit murder. Carruth was sentenced to 18 to 24 years in jail. His expected release is on October 22, 2018. At number 4, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is a former professional boxer. He was the youngest boxer to win WBC, IBF, and WBA heavyweight titles. In July 1991, Tyson was charged with the rape of Desiree Washington, an 18-year-old college student. On February 10, 1992, he was convicted to 10 years imprisonment, but the judge suspended the last 4, thus giving Tyson only 6 years behind bars. Tyson was released from prison in March 1995. At number 3, O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson is a retired American football player. He was in the National Football League with the Buffalo Bills from 1969 to 1977, and the San Francisco 49ers from 1978 to 1979. He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1985. In 1994, he was accused of the death of his former wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend, Ronald Goldman. Simpson was acquitted in 1997 after a publicized trial. In 2007, Simpson was arrested and charged with numerous felonies, including burglary, assault, robbery, and kidnapping. In 2008, he was convicted and sentenced to 33 years imprisonment. He now stays at LOLWOT Correctional Center in Nevada. At number 2, Oscar Pistorius. Oscar Pistorius is a South American sprint runner. His legs were amputated when he was only 11 years old. He is the first amputee to participate and win in the 2012 Summer Olympics. On February 14, 2013, Pistorius shot his model girlfriend Riva Steenkamp. According to him, he had mistaken Steenkamp as an intruder. He was later arrested and accused of murder. The prosecutor had requested a minimum prison sentence of 10 years. However, on October 21, 2014, Judge Theokozile Masipa had handed a verdict of guilty for culpable homicide and not guilty for murder. Pistorius had received a prison sentence of 5 years. And at number 1, Aaron Hernandez. Aaron Hernandez is a former American football player. He played college football for the University of Florida and was drafted by the New England Patriots. However, the Patriots had released him immediately after he was arrested for the death of Odin Lloyd. On August 22, 2013, he was indicted for the murder of Lloyd, but his legal woes did not stop there. On May 15, 2014, he was indicted for the double homicide of Safiro Furtado and Daniel De Abreu. On April 15, 2015, Hernandez was convicted of first-degree murder of Lloyd. He is now serving his life sentence without parole. Click like, comment, and subscribe for more daily videos like these.